Welcome back to Cool Tech Channel. Buckle up, today's an interesting one. So, we've been living in this wild new era of AI for a little while now. It feels like every week there's a new app, a new feature, a new something that promises to change everything. But when you cut through all the noise, the conversation really comes down to two major players right now. It's the tech equivalent of a heavyweight title fight. In one corner, you have the one that basically started it all for most of us, the one that made AI a household name. And in the other corner, you have the challenger, backed by one of the biggest names in tech history. This is more than just code versus code, philosophies, ecosystems, visions. This is the showdown everyone's been talking about, ChatGPT versus Google Gemini. It's the kind of matchup that gets tech enthusiasts like me genuinely excited. On one hand, you have OpenAI's ChatGPT, the platform that burst onto the scene and showed millions of people what a large language model could actually do. It felt like magic, and it still kind of does. On the other hand, you have Google, the undisputed king of information, throwing its full weight behind Gemini. The stakes are incredibly high, not just for these companies, but for us, the users. The AI that wins this race could fundamentally shape how we work, how we learn, and even how we think. Let's start with the reigning champion, the one that made AI chatbot a common phrase, ChatGPT. Developed by OpenAI, this is the model that really kicked the door down and introduced the world to the power of generative AI. When it first launched, the experience was mind-blowing. You could ask it anything from writing a poem about a smartphone to debugging a complex piece of code, and it would just do it. It felt like a conversation with a super intelligent entity. It wasn't just spitting out search results, it was generating new, coherent, and often surprisingly creative text right before your eyes. At its core, ChatGPT is a large language model, or LLM. Think of it as a brain that has been trained on a colossal amount of text and data from the internet. It learned grammar, facts, writing styles, and the relationships between words and ideas. So when you give it a prompt, it's not searching for an answer in a database. Instead, it's predicting the next most likely word, and the next, to construct sentences that make sense in the context of your request. This predictive power is what allows it to be so versatile, capable of adapting its tone and style on the fly. One of the biggest things ChatGPT has going for it is its head start. It was the first one to capture the public's imagination on a massive scale, and that means it has a huge user base, providing feedback and helping OpenAI refine the model. The interface is clean, simple, and conversation-based, which makes it incredibly accessible. Over time, ChatGPT has evolved from a simple text generator to a multimodal platform. It has a whole ecosystem of GPTs, which are custom versions of the AI tailored for specific tasks. It's established itself as the reliable go-to standard for a reason. It's powerful, it's flexible, and it was here first, setting the bar for everyone else. Now let's talk about the challenger, Google Gemini. If ChatGPT is the nimble startup that changed the game, Gemini is the sleeping giant that has finally awoken. For years, people were asking, where is Google in all of this? After all, Google has been a leader in AI research for over a decade. Well, Gemini is their answer. It's not just a single model, it's a family of models designed to be scalable, running on everything from massive data centers to your smartphone. Google's ambition here isn't just to compete with ChatGPT, it's to create an AI that is fundamentally more integrated with the world's information. The core philosophy behind Gemini feels different. While ChatGPT was built primarily as a conversational AI, Gemini was designed from the ground up to be multimodal. That means it was trained simultaneously on text, images, audio, video, code. It's not just a language model that had image capabilities bolted on later, it's a natively multimodal system. This is Google leveraging its vast expertise in handling all kinds of data, from YouTube videos to Google Images, and baking that understanding into its AI's DNA. This approach gives Gemini some potentially huge advantages. For one, it can handle more complex, nuanced queries that involve different types of media. It's built to understand the world in a way that's more analogous to how humans do, through multiple senses. Google has positioned Gemini not just as a chatbot, but as the new engine that will power the next generation of Google products. The rollout has been strategic. Gemini comes in different sizes: Ultra, most complex tasks; Pro, everyday uses; Nano, on-device mobile. This means Google can deliver AI-powered features without always needing to connect to the cloud, which is a big deal for speed and privacy. When you use Gemini, you're not just chatting with an AI, you're tapping into the entire Google Knowledge Graph, its real-time search index, and its suite of productivity tools. It's a powerful proposition from the company that already organizes the world's information. So, with a challenger as powerful as Gemini, why do so many people still swear by ChatGPT? I think it comes down to a few key things, and the first one is consistency. ChatGPT, especially the paid GPT-4 model, has a reputation for being a remarkably reliable all-rounder. Write a professional email, draft a creative story, explain a scientific concept, help you plan a trip. It just delivers solid, high-quality results time and time again. It has a certain creative flair and a conversational tone that feels very natural and polished. For many, it has become a trusted creative and productivity partner. The second reason is its maturity and the ecosystem that has been built around it. Because it was first to market, a massive community of developers and creators has sprung up. This has led to the creation of the GPT Store, which is basically an app store for AI. A sous chef to help you with recipes, a coding mentor, a travel guide, a logo creator. This extensibility makes ChatGPT not just one tool, but thousands of specialized tools in one. It's a level of customization that Gemini is still catching up to, and it makes ChatGPT incredibly sticky for power users. Then there's the user experience. The interface for ChatGPT is just clean and straightforward. It doesn't try to do too much or overwhelm you with options. For many users who just want to get in, get their answer or their text, and get out, this distraction-free environment is perfect. For millions of people, ChatGPT was their first wow moment with AI. It's the tool they learn to use, the one whose quirks they understand, and the one they've integrated into their workflows. For a lot of people, ChatGPT is just good enough across the board, and its consistent performance as a jack-of-all-trades makes it the comfortable, reliable choice. Alright, so if ChatGPT is the reliable all-rounder, what is Gemini's killer feature? It's one word: Google. Gemini's deepest integration and most powerful advantage is its direct, real-time connection to Google search. While ChatGPT can browse the web, it feels like a separate action. For Gemini, access to the live internet is native. This is a game-changer for any query that requires up-to-the-minute information. Gemini can synthesize information from multiple real-time sources in a way that feels incredibly powerful. Because Gemini can cross-reference its generated answers with live search results, it often provides citations and links back to its sources. This integration also extends into the broader Google ecosystem. You can now use Gemini directly within your Gmail to draft replies, in Google Docs to brainstorm ideas, and on Android phones as a replacement for the standard Google Assistant. This contextual awareness is something ChatGPT as a standalone application can't easily replicate. It's less of a destination you go to and more of an ambient intelligence that's always there to help. So let's put them to the test in a few real-world scenarios. First up, creative writing, short engaging script, YouTube video about the history of the smartphone. ChatGPT often has the edge. Storytelling, adopting a specific voice, polished, not just facts, personality, humor, narrative flow. Gemini can write a script too, but sometimes lacks that creative spark. For pure creativity, ChatGPT often takes the lead. Next, research, student paper, impact of renewable energy on the global economy in 2025. Gemini's strengths come roaring to the forefront. Real-time data, academic papers, news reports, recent statistics with citations. ChatGPT can research, but knowledge can be dated or browsing slower. For the most current verifiable info, Gemini wins. Everyday help, dinner ideas, chicken breast, broccoli, rice. Both AIs generate recipes and nutrition info quickly. Gemini integrates with Google services, shows recipe video from YouTube, shows map of nearby grocery stores, multimodal task, fridge photo, 3 healthy meals. Gemini's native multimodality should shine. Both models can handle it, but Gemini often gives more detailed analysis, images, text, voice. The AI that reasons across those will have the advantage. When you're relying on an AI for important tasks, you need to trust it. So let's compare them on some of the less flashy but critically important metrics: privacy, speed, accuracy. With ChatGPT, by default, your conversations are used to train their models unless you opt out or use a temporary chat. Google has a similar policy for Gemini, linking its data handling to your main Google account's privacy settings. With Gemini, you're trusting the Google privacy framework that already handles your email, photos, search history. It's more centralized, which can be a pro or a con depending on your trust in Google. Next up is speed. How quickly do you get your answer? For simple, text-based queries, both are incredibly fast, almost instantaneous. However, for complex tasks like generating a long document or browsing the web for information, differences start to show. Gemini often feels a hair faster at pulling real-time web data. ChatGPT can feel quicker at pure creative text generation. Accuracy is perhaps the most important factor. AIs can hallucinate. They can state falsehoods with complete confidence. Gemini's direct pipeline to Google search gives it an advantage for factual queries. ChatGPT's interface is minimalist, clean, focused, conversation first. Gemini's interface is also clean but clearly a Google product, integrating features with other Google services. Which is better is subjective. A dedicated, isolated tool or an assistant woven into a larger ecosystem? ChatGPT feels like a specialist's workshop. Gemini feels like the command center for your digital life. So, after all the testing, comparisons and deep dives, which AI comes out on top? Which one do I find myself using more often? If I had to choose just one to keep on my home screen for all my day-to-day needs, I have to give the slight edge to Google Gemini. Now hold on before the ChatGPT fans come for me in the comments. Let me explain my reasoning. It's a very close call, and it really comes down to the types of tasks I find myself doing most often. For me, that involves a lot of research, fact-checking, needing the most current information available for my video scripts. The killer feature for me is Gemini's seamless, real-time integration with Google Search. The ability to ask a question about a recent event or a new product and get an answer that is synthesized from live web pages, complete with sources, is just too powerful to ignore. It saves me a step in my workflow. For my job, where accuracy and timeliness are paramount, that integration gives Gemini a significant advantage. However, that does not mean I'm deleting ChatGPT. Not even close. There are still many times when I will open ChatGPT first, without a second thought. When I need to brainstorm creative ideas, when I'm looking for a unique angle for a script, when I want to write in a very specific tone or style, ChatGPT often feels more intuitive and, for lack of a better word, more artistic. It's like having a brilliant creative partner to bounce ideas off of. It excels in the realm of generation and creation. So, my final verdict is this. Gemini is becoming my go-to for answers, while ChatGPT remains my go-to for ideas. Gemini is the world's smartest research assistant, deeply connected to the firehose of live information on the internet. ChatGPT is the world's most versatile creative partner, capable of generating stunningly coherent and imaginative text. The best solution, honestly, is to use both. They are two incredibly powerful tools with different core strengths. But if you're forcing me to pick one for the does everything pretty well crown right now, Gemini's connection to the live web makes it the slightly more practical and versatile choice for the average person. So there you have it, the battle of the AI heavyweights. We've seen ChatGPT, the reigning champ, with its incredible creative prowess and mature, focused ecosystem. We've also seen the challenger, Google Gemini, step into the ring with its killer hook, a seamless, native integration with the world's largest information source. It brings real-time data and a massive ecosystem to the fight, making it an incredibly powerful and practical assistant for everyday life. This isn't a simple case of one being definitively better than the other. The truth is, the best AI really depends on you. It depends on what you do, what you need, and what you value. If your daily tasks involve creative writing, brainstorming, coding, you might find that ChatGPT's refined conversational abilities and specialized GPTs are a better fit for your workflow. On the other hand, if you're someone who constantly needs up-to-the-minute information, plans events, does a lot of online research, or is deeply embedded in the Google ecosystem, Gemini is probably the smarter choice for you. Ultimately, we are in an amazing position as users. We have a choice between two incredibly powerful, rapidly evolving technologies, and the competition between them is only making both products better. The best thing you can do is try both. See which one clicks with you. See which one fits more naturally into the way you work and live. The real winner of this AI showdown isn't ChatGPT or Gemini, it's us. We get access to these amazing tools that were science fiction just a few years ago. So now I want to turn it over to you. Which one are you using? Which one do you think is smarter? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tech videos.